In 2002, scientists at the United States Department of Agriculture confirmed that vinegar kills weeds. Not some weeds, up to 100% of common weeds. That study is now 24 years old. Most people have never heard of it. A gallon of this herbicide costs about $2 to mix at home. The product it replaces costs $15 a bottle. That $15 product has generated over 200,000 cancer lawsuits. By the end of this video, you will have the exact recipe, you will have the application method, you will have the university research behind it, and you will have the honest limitations no one else will tell you about. But this story starts long before any American laboratory. Welcome. This channel exists for people who would rather know how to solve a problem for $2 than be sold a $15 solution for the rest of their lives. If that sounds like you, you are in the right place. Subscribe if you want to keep finding these. Now, let me take you to Japan. In the early 20th century, a philosopher named Mokichi Okada developed what he called nature farming. His principle was simple. Work with biological systems, not against them. Stop poisoning the soil to save the crop. That philosophy took root across Japan, literally. In Ibaraki Prefecture, the Asatomachi Cooperative built an entire agricultural system around it. They used something called mokusaku, wood vinegar, produced by slow-burning bamboo and hardwood, then collecting the condensate. Farmers applied it to fields for weed suppression, pest management, and soil conditioning. This was not fringe. This was organized, cooperative agriculture practiced across multiple prefectures. They even developed a system called takai, direct partnerships between farmers and consumers, no middlemen, no chemical companies, and it spread beyond Japan. The Japan Agricultural Exchange Council sent a researcher named Masaki Yokomori to the Philippines. In Buguyas, Benguet Province, a farmer named Sotero Kapsuyan adopted mokusaku techniques. He doubled his carrot yields. A facility for mokusaku production opened there in November of 2024. This is not an internet hack someone dreamed up last Tuesday. This is a practice embedded in one of the most sophisticated agricultural traditions on Earth, still in active use, still producing results. So when American scientists finally tested this in a laboratory, they were not discovering anything. They were confirming what Japanese farmers already knew. Now, what you are watching right now is the surface. Inside the vault, we go deeper. Dozens of topics just like this one, buried remedies, exposed industry playbooks, ancient preservation methods, water purification, soil regeneration, food storage techniques that predate refrigeration by centuries. No fluff, no filler, just research you can use. The link is in the description if you want access to all of it. But stay right here. The full recipe and every university study are still coming in this free video. Now, let us talk about what the science actually says. The study came out of the USDA's Agricultural Research Service facility in Beltsville, Maryland. The researchers were J. Radhakrishnan, John Teasdale, and Ben Kaufman. They tested acetic acid at multiple concentrations against common weeds at various growth stages. Here's what they found. 5% acetic acid, which is household vinegar, killed weed seedlings. 10% killed slightly older plants, but 20% acetic acid achieved 85 to 100% kill rates across all growth stages. Canada thistle is one of the hardest weeds to kill in North America. At just 5% concentration, they observed 100% top kill. At 20%, the thistle was dead in 2 hours. They were not alone. The University of Florida's Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences ran a direct comparison. 20 to 30% vinegar was, in their words, almost as effective as glyphosate. The University of Maryland Extension confirmed the 20% threshold. Montana State University confirmed it. The University of Illinois confirmed it. 5 major institutions, same finding. 20% acetic acid kills weeds. The mechanism is straightforward. Acetic acid ruptures plant cell membranes on contact. It desiccates the tissue. You can see visible damage within 4 hours. The plant appears dead within 24 hours. It is non-selective, meaning it kills any plant it touches. It is contact only. It does not move through the root system, and it leaves no residue in the soil. So if this works, and it does, why is it not on every shelf in every garden center in the country? Follow the money. Glyphosate was introduced in 1974. Monsanto sold it as Roundup. In 1996, they launched Roundup Ready crops, genetically modified seeds engineered to survive glyphosate. Buy the seed, buy the chemical, every season, a closed-loop system generating billions in recurring revenue. The global glyphosate market is worth $11 to $12 billion a year. The broader herbicide market is $34 to $45 billion. In 2018, Bayer purchased Monsanto for $66 billion. Then, the lawsuits started piling up. In 2015, the World Health Organization classified glyphosate as probably carcinogenic to humans. Over 200,000 lawsuits followed. Bayer has already paid more than $10 billion in settlements. They have set aside $16 billion in total litigation provisions. In February of 2026, they proposed a $7.25 billion class settlement to try to close the book. Now, consider vinegar. Acetic acid is a naturally occurring compound produced by fermentation, one of the oldest chemical processes known to civilization. You cannot patent it. You cannot trademark it. It generates no royalties. It builds no recurring revenue. No corporation on earth has a financial incentive to research vinegar as a herbicide. No corporation has incentive to market it. No corporation has incentive to build a supply chain for it. University extension services receive partial funding through industry partnerships. The funding follows the patents, not the farmer. A $66 billion company is drowning in cancer lawsuits. A $2 solution sits on the shelf. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is an annual report. If you are still watching, you are the kind of person this channel was built for. Every video here gives you something you can actually use. Hit subscribe. Share this with someone who sprays Roundup every spring. The link to the vault is below. Now I have to be honest with you about something. Vinegar works. The science is clear. But it has real limitations. And if I do not tell you about them, I am no better than the people selling you the $15 bottle. Vinegar is a contact killer only. It destroys the tissue it touches. It does not travel down into the root system. That means perennial weeds will regrow. You will need to retreat them. The University of Florida measured this directly. Glyphosate required about 1 retreatment per year. 20% vinegar required 3 to 5 retreatments per year. Light household 5% vinegar required 5 to 9. That is real labor. Grasses are harder to kill than broadleaf weeds. Rain within 24 to 48 hours after application can wash the vinegar off before it finishes working. You will need to time your application around the weather. The salt component in the recipe does not break down. Repeated heavy applications in the same garden bed will damage your soil over time. Use salt sparingly or skip it in beds where you plan to grow food. Now here is something almost no one tells you. Concentrated vinegar is actually more acutely toxic than glyphosate by one measure. The LD50 for acetic acid is 3,310 milligrams per kilogram. The LD50 for glyphosate is 5,600 milligrams per kilogram. That means by direct oral exposure. The concentrated acetic acid is more dangerous drop for drop. 20% horticultural vinegar will burn your skin on contact. It can cause permanent eye damage. This is not salad dressing. Treat it with the same respect you would treat any chemical herbicide. And at agricultural scale, the economics shift. A California study found that acetic acid herbicide cost $1,733 per acre. Roundup cost $81 per acre. For spot treatment in a home garden, vinegar wins. For a 500-acre farm, it does not. Now that you know exactly what this can and cannot do, here is how to do it. You need 3 ingredients: 1 gallon of 20% horticultural vinegar, Not household vinegar, horticultural strength. You can find it at garden centers or online. 1 tablespoon of liquid dish soap. This acts as a surfactant, helping the vinegar stick to leaf surfaces. 1 cup of table salt. This acts as an additional desiccant. Mix the salt into the vinegar first. Stir until it dissolves completely. Add the dish soap last. Stir gently. You do not want foam. Pour the mixture into a plastic pump sprayer. Do not use metal. The acid will corrode it. Pick a hot, dry, sunny day. 85 degrees Fahrenheit or higher is ideal. Check your forecast. You need no rain for at least 48 hours after application. Coat all leaf surfaces thoroughly. Pay special attention to the growing points at the center of each weed. Young weeds die faster and easier than mature ones. Treat them early. Expect wilting within hours. Expect apparent death within 24 hours. For perennial weeds, plan your retreatment every 2 to 4 weeks through the growing season. This is attrition, not a single strike. You are exhausting the root reserves over time. Do not spray desirable plants. This kills everything it touches. Be precise. Wear chemical-resistant gloves. Wear safety goggles. Wear long sleeves. This is a 20% acid solution. Protect yourself. Your cost is approximately $2 per gallon. A comparable bottle of Roundup costs $15 or more. For spot treatment in a residential setting, you can manage an entire season for $20 to $30 per acre equivalent. Let me leave you with this. The USDA proved this works in 2002. Japanese farmers proved it works for generations before that. It cost $2. The product it could replace has generated over 200,000 cancer lawsuits and cost one company $16 billion in legal provisions. The knowledge was never banned. It was never classified. It was economically drowned out by a multi-billion-dollar industry that cannot profit from a commodity anyone can buy at a garden center. Now you have the recipe. You have the science. You have the history. And you have the honest limitations. The question was never whether vinegar works. The question is why no one told you sooner. Next week we open the vault on another one. Same structure, exposed industry, named research, honest limitations, real instructions. Hit subscribe so you do not miss it.